Hello friends, welcome back. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about the more circular envelopes for the different types of soil. In the present lecture, we will discuss about the determination of the shear strength. Or I can say it as a measurement of shear strength. So, the shear strength of a soil involves plotting the failure envelopes. That means wherever you want to find out the shear strength, or if you want to identify the stability of a soil mass, we have to draw the failure envelope. For drawing the failure envelope, the shear strength parameters are must and should. What are the shear strength parameters? Cohesion of a soil and also the angle of friction. So, if you can estimate the cohesion and also the angle of internal friction. Based on those two, we can draw the failure envelope of a particular soil. So, for the measurement of shear strength, what are the needed? We have to determine the shear strength parameters. We can say shear strength parameters are necessary. So, what are the methods for determining the shear stress parameters? So, we are having a different test, that is nothing but some of them we can conduct in the laboratory. We can conduct laboratory test, and also we can also conduct the field test. So, laboratory the examples are like as we have all heard, direct shear test, and also we have heard it like triaxial test, and also we have heard like unconfined compression test, unconfined compression test, and also the vein shear test, torsion test. So let us draw the important one, and also let me discuss with vein shear test. So in addition to this, we are also having torsion test, and also we are having the ring shear test. But out of those, these four are the commonly used tests in the laboratory. And in the field test, we can also have, or we can conduct the same test in the field. That means vein shear, we can do the experiment in the laboratory, and also we can do it in the field also. And also we are having the penetration test. So these are the different tests. Those are available in the laboratory, or we can conduct them in also in the field test for determining the shear stress parameters. That means by using this test, we will obtain the more failure envelopes, and then based on those, we can estimate the shear strength parameters. Now, as we have, let us talk about the types of the soils first. Suppose if you are talking about the cohesion-less soil, so for cohesion-less soil, the test normally the shear test may be conducted for the dry condition, or we can also conduct in the saturated condition. But if you are talking about the fine-grained soil, those are usually tested in the saturated conditions only. So those properties we will discuss in the coming chapters. Okay. Now let us talk about the direct shear test. Direct shear test. As the name itself implies, direct shear. So let us discuss this. It is like a oldest method. This is like oldest test, but quite simple. It is oldest method, and also it is quite simple. So in this test, what will happen is that the soil specimen is tested in a confined metal square cross section box. That means we are having two splits one placed over the another, and in the middle part we will fill with the types of the soil, and at the top of the this square specimen we will place some load, and then we will apply, either we can apply the shear strain or we can apply the shear stress, and there will be split between these two boxes, and along that the failure plane will occur. So in this method the failure plane is priorly known. Why? Because the failure plane is always horizontal. So this is what nothing but just introduction to this method. And here there is no, like there is no, like what you say that in this method there is no, uh, we can say that we cannot measure the pore water drainage conditions. That means there is no control over the drainage conditions. As there is no control, that means we can't estimate the pore pressure. So here the main important point is that no control, no control over drainage conditions. As there is no control over drainage conditions, that implies there is no mechanism, there is no mechanism to measure pore water pressure. As you cannot measure the pore water pressure, that means the metal box that will be at the bottom, it will contain a porous material will be there. As from the porous material, the water can easily escape. As the water is escaping freely, we can conduct the test in the effective, like drainage condition, or we can estimate the shear strength by using the effective parameters. As we cannot control the drainage conditions, we cannot estimate the pore water pressure present in the soil. That's why this test is normally conducted for the, it is like very quick test. So just like for the granular soil, like if you're talking about the sand, and the draining can be easily done. That's why for freely drained soils we can conduct this experiment. Suppose if I represent in a diagrammatic manner, there will be some metal box, and there will be some groove over here, and in between it is entirely filled with the soil, and we will keep on varying the normal stress, and then we will try to apply the shear stress on the box. So at, as your shear stress reaches the failure plane, then the failure envelope will be like this. So the two boxes failure will be happen in the horizontal direction. So this is what the position of the two metal boxes after failure has occurred. That means we will note it down two parameters. So first we'll take some normal stress, we'll keep some load. We will measure what is the shear stress needed for the failure condition. Like that we'll keep on changing the sigma, and then we will obtain the tau f values. So by using those values, along the x we'll use sigma, and along the y we'll use the shear along the failure plane. And depending on those values, we will draw a diagram. After obtaining the failure envelope, we will obtain what is the phi value, and also we can obtain what is the cohesion value. So this is what nothing but a uh, direct box shear test. So let us see what are the advantages and disadvantages. Let us see what are the advantages. So we have to know what are the advantages. They can ask for the multiple selective questions. So here we can say that your test is quite simple. That means, and also it is very quick, and also the operators, whatever the operators is required, that is very cheap. We can say that operators is cheaper, and also there is no need of technical skill. Why? Because as the test is very simple, what we'll do, we'll fill the soil in between the metal boxes, and we'll apply the shear stress, and we'll note down the dial gauge reading when the failure has occurred. So that's why there is no need of technical skill. And Here, as the thickness of the sample is small, drainage does not take much time. Here, thickness of sample. Here, the thickness of sample is small. Drainage doesn't take much time. Drainage doesn't take much time. So these are the some of the advantages if we are using the direct box shear test. Now let us see some of the disadvantages. So the disadvantage is like the failure plane is predetermined. Why? Because as we are placing a groove, the failure plane will be always horizontal direction. So here we are saying that the failure plane is predetermined. The failure plane is predetermined. So that may not be the weakest plane. So if you are going into the real conditions, it is not always possible that the failure plane is always occur in the horizontal direction, right? So that's why the failure plane may be different. So but here we are considering always the failure plane is acting along the horizontal direction. And also the dryness conditions cannot be controlled. Drainage can't be controlled as you cannot control the drainage conditions. So we cannot measure the pore water pressure. As we cannot measure the pore water pressure, not applicable for the fine grained soils. Not applicable for fine grained soils. So for fine grained soils, definitely we will use the undrained parameters. And as we have seen that test is useful. Test is useful only for freely draining soils, that is like sand. Freely draining soils, that is like sands. So if it is a sand, the drainage can occur. As it is a sand, the drainage can occur very fast. That's why in the walk shear test, we will always use the effective parameters for obtaining the shear strength. And as we are using the rectangular boxes, stress concentrations will also be there. Okay. So this is what only have to understand what are the advantages, disadvantages, and what is the equation. Then that is more than enough for the examination point. In the next video, we will discuss about the triaxial test. Thank you.